Regular programming will not be seen at this time. Please stay tuned for the following special program.
They have played 2 times already this season, and in each case, Greece Athena came out on top. Fairport was competitive. They had their chances, but on both nights, the Trojans had too much John Wallace for the Red Raiders to handle.
We're just looking forward to the challenge of Athena. They beat us twice, once convincingly, and the second time was about a 10, 12-point game, and so we just want another chance.
That chance is here. The other 2 games are long gone, saved only by memories and stat sheets. This is the only game that matters. This is the night when the Section 5 Class A championship will be decided.
A News Source 13 Sports Exclusive. Live from the Rochester War Memorial, it's the 1992 Section 5 Class A Basketball Championship game. Tonight, the Fairport Red Raiders take on the Greece Athena Trojans.
Good evening and welcome to the Rochester War Memorial, where we are set for the Section 5 Class A championship game. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Section 5 Class A championship game. Mike Catalana, along with our guest analyst for this evening, Rush Henrietta basketball coach Jim Cox. And first of all, Coach, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Mike. It's really nice to be here. It's an exciting night. It's an exciting night.
It is the 71st year of Section 5 basketball tournaments here in the city of Rochester, and it is the kind of event that brings out a lot of emotion. You've coached in this championship game before. What's going through these players' mind? They're back behind us on the court. What's going through the coach's mind right now?
Well, the kids are excited, and as a coach, you have to calm them down a little bit. They want to get up here, and they want to get it going. Just tell them to take a big, deep breath. Get up there. They're going to be nervous, but hey, play some good defense and let the game begin.
You look at the matchup that we have in this ball game. You have Athena. They're undefeated and everybody's consensus pick to maybe even win a state championship. And a Fairport team that's lost to Athena twice. Does that give Fairport any sort of edge tonight, maybe an emotional edge in this game?
Yes, it gives them a little bit, especially in the preparation. They've probably worked real hard getting up. They're probably a little upset that they've lost 2 times. Athena cannot take this game lightly, because Fairport can play the game of basketball.
One of the reasons that Greece Athena is the favorite in this game and is the favorite maybe to win a state title, and the reason they won 2 games is because of John Wallace. There's one of your keys, Coach, to stop the man, John Wallace.
The man, John Wallace, whatever you want to call him, he's a force in a lane. He is the premier player, the big man in Section 5.
He's got demand on the back of his head, and he's backed that up this year. Can Fairport just allow him to take over this game? What can they do?
Well, they're going to have to use probably 2 people to help out. But the thing is with Athena, you can't spend all the time in a lane worrying about John Wallace, because the other 4 people are going to kill you.
John Wallace is an All-American. Some of the other things we might want to talk about as far as keys to this ball game is how Fairport controls the tempo.
Fairport has to control the tempo, because if they don't control the tempo, if Athena gets off and running and they up-tempo it and the game gets up into the 60s, 70s, and the 80s, it's going to be all Athena.
What are the kind of things offensively they can do to control the tempo?
Well, they're not going to hold the ball, but they're going to work the ball for good high-percentage shots. The thing is, Fairport has a big question mark whether they can make that high-percentage shot. You know, they're not a real good shooting team, but hey, they have to work the ball and set that tempo.
And we've already talked about it just a little bit. Another key to this game, and in just about any sporting event, especially on a high school level, is emotion.
Yes, they have to play with emotion. Athena played with a lot of emotion there Wednesday night against East High, and they came away with that ball game.
What are the emotional edges that Fairport might have in this game?
Well, you know, just getting around and playing hard. They have to get up and really play this ball game.
And especially since they are the underdogs too, because there really isn't that much pressure on them.
No, they don't have much pressure at all. The pressure is on Athena. They're undefeated. Coach Brown is trying to relax them a little bit, take the pressure off a little bit, say, hey, come out and let's have some fun.
All right, coaches, Coach Don Brown and Jeff Fitch, and when we come back, we're going to hear from the coaches before the start of the game. Stay with us. You're watching Section 5 Class A Championship Basketball.
This special presentation of Section 5 high school basketball is brought to you by your Rochester Regional Ford dealers and by Rochester Gas and Electric.
When I grow up, I want to be a ballerina.
No one ever says, I want to be a junkie when I grow up. Don't let drugs get in the way of your dreams.
19 hours only. Ruby Gordon's No Money March Miracle. 1 full year, no interest, no payments till March 1993. Store-wide savings. Sofas, chairs and recliners, sleeper sofas, dining rooms, bedrooms, furniture for the kids, plus Rochester's largest Sealy mattress selection. 19 hours only, No Money March Miracle. Sunday and Monday, only at Ruby Gordon. Attention homeowners, the U.S. Congress has made available loans of up to $17,500 for your home improvement projects through the FHA Title I loan program. That's right, you could be eligible for up to $17,500. Call now at 1-800-451-0058. Your home improvements may include energy-efficient siding, replacement windows, and roofing. Kitchens, bathrooms, and additions may also qualify. If you'd like to hear more, call now, 1-800-451-0058.
Why Christo Ford?
I look at every deal that goes through here, and I'm confident our family sells Fords for less.
Because nothing leaves this service department without my personal inspection, and I'm not easy. Why Christo Ford? Because you'll pay less for a car here, and if you give me a chance, I can personally prove it.
Because of our repeat customer history, that tells me my family's doing something right.
Why Christo Ford? Because Christo cares.
Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way.
The power to wake up young minds. Teachers have that power. Reach for it. I'm Edward James Olmos, and we're recruiting new teachers. For information, call 1-800-45-TEACH.
I think it's going to be probably the most incredible feeling that both Fairport and us have had in our young lives. You know, we're only 18-year-old kids that are going to go out and play for something we've been dreaming about since, you know, the day we picked up a basketball.
It's going to be a great, great feeling. We're going to go out there with a positive attitude and play our game. Hopefully we can win, and it's going to, you know, feel real good because we're undefeated. We want to keep that going, and I think we'll, you know, if we do our job, we should win.
John's the man, and it's just, he's McDonald's All-American tonight, or Saturday night. We got to find some Wendy's and Burger King All-Americans just to holding to his points, and it's not just John Wallace, it's the whole team, and I respect all of them.
Well, Coach, I don't know how many fast food All-Americans we're going to have out on the court tonight, but one thing to keep in mind, the Fairport kids have to realize no one on their team is going to do what John Wallace has done. It's got to be a team effort.
Definitely. They all have to work together, set that tempo, and make the shot when it's there.
All right, the men who control the tempo and control the whole game are the coaches, and we're going to go over to our own Rich Becker, who's standing by with the men running the show tonight. Rich?
Thank you, Michael. You know, the teams, how they got here is an interesting story in itself. They both had one tough game. They both had one easy game. If you give an edge there, Athena might have the edge because they had the easy game to get to the final game.
The road to the finals began easily enough for Fairport. The number 2 seed started out with Brockport a week ago. The Raiders breezed past the Blue Devils 67-41, getting some strong inside play from Joe Manhertz. But things got a lot tougher in the semifinals as Fairport faced Webster, a team they'd lost to twice this season. Things looked bad for the Raiders early as the Warriors moved out to a 7-point lead behind the play of Matt Spadoni. But Fairport finally got rolling in the fourth. A 10-2 run keyed by Keith Downing gave the Raiders a 56-49 lead. But this one wasn't decided until the final seconds. A missed Webster layup did it. Fairport to the finals, 56-55. Top seed Athena was expected to end up in the finals, but McQuaid planned on standing in their way. The Knights clamped down on Athena's John Wallace, holding him to just 12 points and forcing him to foul out in the fourth. But Athena isn't just a one-man team. Jake Lenhart proves that. He drills the three. Athena to the semis with a 59-42 victory. Their toughest test was expected to be East. It wasn't. The so-called other Athena players got them off to a good start. Brian Pratt with the score, Athena up 10. John Wallace got into the act in the second quarter. A thunderous slam on the rebound. Trojans led 38-26 at the half. They kept it up in the second. Wallace finishes the night with 31 as Athena coast past East and into the finals 92-69. So now it's set. Number 2 Fairport and number 1 Athena for the Section 5 Boys Class A Championship.
And that is how they got here. Now they are here at the War Memorial. Fairport coach Jeff Fitch, Athena coach Tom Brown joining me right now before the game to kind of talk about what's going to happen tonight. Jeff, we start with you. Athena has been the team that people have talked about all year. Fairport and everybody else has kind of been in another echelon, according to what people say. I won't say that, so you don't hit me, but what are you thinking tonight as far as that underdog attitude?
Well, I think it's an advantage, really. A guy like John Wallace, he only comes once in a lifetime. He certainly lived up to all his billings. He's a great player. In my estimation, he's the best to ever come out of this area. It's a nice feeling just to be here, and we just hope that we can stay close for 2-3 quarters, and then hopefully anything can happen. This building, strange things do happen.
Don, I put it to you. You heard what Jeff said. Is it all rhetoric, or are you guys thinking you might have an easy time in this game?
No way. We really haven't had an easy time yet. Maybe the final score was that way, but each game we try to play one at a time, play as hard as we could, and try to do the right things, and tonight won't be any different. We're playing a team that's got great tradition, a great coach, Class C team, and tremendous size. So we have a lot to overcome, even though we are where we are.
All season long, and talking to you and your players, everybody said the goal was to win a Section 5 title. The other night when you beat East, I said to John, you know, are you happy with this? Well, we're happy, he said, but we're not finished. Given that, are they going to come out and be a little too excited to maybe get to that goal tonight?
It's hard to believe we could be any more excited than we were on Wednesday night against East, but if we can get up to that fever pitch again, I think then we'll play pretty good.
Okay, Don, thanks. Jeff, the question, how do you stop John Wallace?
I don't think you really do. I think he's going to get his points no matter what. Hopefully we can stop some of the other players and double down, triple down on John, and hopefully it'll be good enough to give us a win tonight.
These guys are ready to go, get started for the Section 5 Class A final. We'll get started in a few minutes. First, back to Mike and Jim.
Coaches are ready. Our coach is ready, too. We're going to be back with the starting lineups for tonight's game and the tip-off. You are watching the Section 5 Class A Championship ballgame.
We're going to surprise, bedazzle, and enthrall you at the Marketplace Mall Antique Show today through Sunday, where you'll be surprised with all that you can discover, bedazzled by the glitter of a day gone by, and enthralled with a magical glimpse into yesteryear. An event you won't want to miss, the Marketplace Mall Antique Show today through Sunday.
All roads lead to Marketplace Mall.
My name is Chad Bola. I go to Josh Lofton Senior High. I'm in 9th grade, and I would like to introduce my hero and my electronics teacher, Mr. Urante. Mr. Urante has created an interest in science for me. I want to learn as much as he knows about electronics.
The happiness gets into the marrow and furrow of my bone when I see my students getting into areas that are needed in our community.
Thank you, Mr. Urante, for being my friend, my very favorite teacher, and yes, my hero.
Another first from News Source 13. Realizing weather was important to you, News Source 13 was the first to bring you a first look at the weather every night during our 11 o'clock news. Not a complete forecast, but enough to let you know what the morning will bring. This past week, we recognized the need of sports enthusiasts, and we now join Mike Catalana in the newsroom for First Sports, the top scores and stories. First look at weather, First Sports. Stay with the leader, News Source 13.
The Burgundy Basin Inn is over 30 years famous, and the celebrations continue at our newly remodeled facility. Weddings at the Burgundy have always been elegant affairs, and now the best gets better at the Burgundy Basin Inn. A personal tour will show you why we host the finest weddings, clam bakes, and picnics. Our many packages fit any budget, and some choice dates are still available. Call the Burgundy Basin Inn and celebrate.
At the Burgundy Basin Inn.
Welcome back to the War Memorial, where we are just about set for the start of tonight's Section 5 Class A championship game. Mike Catalana, along with Rush Henrietta basketball coach Jim Cox and our own Rich Becker. And this should be a great basketball game. We're looking forward to it, and we are just about set to give you the starting lineups for tonight's game. Good evening and welcome to the Section 5 Class A championship game. Let's introduce the starting lineups for tonight. First, for the Fairport Red Raiders. At guard, a senior, number 20, Pat Quagliarello. For the Greece Athena Trojans, at guard, a senior, number 32, Brian Pratt. For Fairport, at guard, a junior, number 23, Scott Davis. And for Athena, at guard, a senior, number 12, Jake Lenhard. For Fairport, a junior, number 35, Keith Downing. For Athena, a senior center, number 44, John Wallace. For Fairport, a senior, number 40, Todd Essie. For Athena, a junior, number 34, Mike Davies. For Fairport, a senior, number 50, Joe Manhertz, and the rest of the Fairport Red Raiders. And for Athena, a senior, a junior, number 40, Eric Schmidt, and the rest of the Greece Athena Trojans. Fairport is coached by Jeff Fitch, and Athena is coached by Don Brown. The starting lineups are set, and we are just about set for basketball. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we will have the opening tip-off for tonight's championship game between Athena and Fairport. We'll be right back.
Watch WOKR 13 for a credit to the community, saluting the businesses and institutions that truly support and serve the Rochester area. Coming soon only on WOKR 13.
Hi, I'm EZ Saver for RG&E. You know, saving energy is a lot like saving string. Every little bit counts. That's why we've announced important new programs, bright ideas to help us all become more energy efficient and save money too. You see, if we can be a little smarter about the way we use energy today, it can wind up making a real difference tomorrow.
Hit it, dudes! Gonna throw a party, won't you come along? Full house is rocking all week long. Full house, 5 days a week. All it takes is just one beat. Full house, 5 days a week.
Full House, weekdays at 4, only on 13.
pretty obvious from here that you can tell, Coach, that the crowd is certainly ready for this basketball game. They obviously feel the emotion, the same emotion that the players are feeling right now.
They certainly do. You can see that Athena group right over there in their row. They're ready for this ball game. They've been waiting a long time for this game.
The one difference might be the nerves that are in the players' minds right now, because they're looking forward to it could be the game of their life. Before we get started for the basketball game, a special presentation. The opening tip-off going to be to a man who's meant a lot to area basketball and actually to basketball all around the country, Pete Pavia. He's the second one from the left there, a longtime referee in college and high school basketball, a six-letter man at Aquinas, basketball and baseball, and six-letter man also at Lafayette. It's kind of a unique feat, and of course, Pete Pavia's story well known to a lot of people, diagnosed with cancer in 1979, but he is a fighter, and Pete is out here with these guys. He's done this many times, not a ceremonial opening tip, but he's going to do that here. So Pete Pavia helping to get us started here for the opening of the Section 5 Class A championship game. Coach, the first few minutes of this ball game, you talked about the emotion, we talked about that energy. Teams are going to have to be cautious of still staying under control.
Yeah, it may get a little sloppy here early until some of these kids get their butterflies out, get the sweat off the palms of their hands a little bit. Athena should probably win the tap here.
And they do, and right off the bat, it is Eric Schmidt going up for the layup, and it is 2-0, Athena.
Athena's being aggressive. They're going to go right to the basket.
Pat Quagliello, the senior, with the ball, leading things off on the point for Fairport. Now, we talked earlier, they're going to try to be patient on offense. They don't want to get into a run-and-gun game with Athena. And in the early going, they're looking for the good shot. This is Manhertz. He's the co-captain along with Quagliello. Went to the inside and nearly got his pocket picked, but it's picked back up by Davis to Quagliello, and Fairport pulls it back out. Looking for the good shot again. In about 5 seconds, Athena's scored, and Fairport's held the ball for the last 30. That's Manhertz.
We're going to go after it right here.
John Wallace pulls down the air ball, and it is Athena's ball on offense. Their point guard, Brian Pratt, the tailback in high school football and the quarterback here on offense for Athena. But this is the man for Athena, John Wallace. He'll take it inside on three men. Davis appeared to catch the ball, but he gets the call. It is a foul going to come up here on Scott Davis, and already John Wallace goes to the line. And, Coach, a lot of people would say, hey, you got 3-4 guys on you, pass the ball. But John Wallace takes it to the basket.
Well, he's going to go to the basket here early, and I think later on, you know, when they start folding in on him a little bit, converging that defense, packing it in, he's going to kick it back out. They have some excellent shooters on the perimeter.
John Wallace misses both off the start, and it is Keith Downing pulling down the boards, and here comes Pat Quagliello again. So a break here in the early going. The two missed free throws by Wallace, who is normally an outstanding free throw shooter.
The big question mark here, Mike, is going to be with the possession-oriented offense that they're running. Can they make that shot when they get it?
The entry pass, there's a problem with it. It is picked off eventually by Schmidt, and it's given back to Brian Pratt, who takes things on offense. Keep your eyes on Pratt and Lenhard, two excellent guards, and Lenhard a shooter from the wing. But John Wallace takes it on the inside and gets his first bucket, and it's 4-0 Athena.
John Wallace, broken three, 4-0.
This is an important possession right here. They better work the ball for an excellent shot.
Athena can be a little more aggressive on the perimeter, knowing they have John Wallace back there to protect them defensively. This is Scott Davis trying to make that entry pass. Now he goes to Manhertz for the tip, and it won't go.
All right, but they got it anyway.
Good hustle that time by Joe Manhertz to pick up his own rebound and get the bucket.
That was a big, big confidence possession for Fairport.
Now it's Athena's turn to look around the perimeter, but always keeping an eye on their man in the middle. And you can tell by the defensive set, as the ball gets closer to the basket, two, sometimes three men running at John Wallace, trying to keep him away. But, Coach, he'll come out and get the ball, too, won't he?
He definitely will. He can shoot the ball on a perimeter.
Drive this time by Schmidt. It won't fall. He hustles for his own rebound, and they're going to call it a jump ball.
It's Fairport's ball.
The possession arrow goes in favor of Fairport. So here they are in the early going, and it's kind of simple to say the longer they stay in it, the better chance. But that really is true here. They can't let Athena jump to a big lead.
No, they can't. The possession-oriented offense, they have to have it if they want to stay in this ball game. But as I said before, Mike, the key is going to be when they have the shot, can they make the shot?
Scott Davis with the ball now at the point as they continue to rotate the ball on offense. Davis trying to take it 1-on-2, kicks it back to Quagliarello, and he took that extra step. Called for a travel here, so the turnover goes back to Athena, and Athena will take possession.
Looks like Fairport's sitting in a 2-3 zone here. They're packing it in. Estes is leaning on Wallace pretty much all the time.
Brian Pratt
does change the set a little bit.
Does an outstanding job of finding John Wallace inside. This time he keeps it himself and gets the layup.
That's something that Fairport cannot allow. Pratt does an excellent job of penetrating.
6-2.
4-point lead in the early going here for Athena. This is Davis trying to take it on the inside. The foul. No, they're going to call it before the shot, and it's going to go on Brian Pratt.
That was Downing taking the shot there, Mike. Downing is their leading scorer. He can get up. He's a fine athlete. He can get up in the air. Looks like right now if Athena's going to play man-to-man, the ball will probably come back to Downing.
Here's the man who takes care of a lot of mistakes, Coach. A defensive mistake there where they let the ball come in on the inside right under the basket, but you got a guy to be the eraser there.
You're darn right. There's a big force in that paint.
So Athena with a 6-2 lead. We are nearly to the 4-minute mark here of the first quarter. Keep your eyes on this man. It is Wallace, but the ball is picked off. Quagliarello trying to break back, and Pratt knocks it loose. Aggressive play that time by the guards on Fairport, and they'll also help too in guarding Wallace, won't they?
They will. They'll fall back and help quite a bit. Right now, it looked like Quagliarello was playing Pratt man-to-man out in the front.
So getting a little pressure on the point guard and then packing it in defensively on John Wallace. Now Manhurst, you see him trying to post up there against Wallace. It's Downing taking it baseline, going up. Can't get it to fall. The rebound for Essie, and that won't drop, and they're going to get a backing in foul here against Athena, and so Essie's going to go to the foul line. But that's the kind of thing they need to stay in this game, right, to come up with those offensive boards.
They do. You know, that was a nice baseline move by Downing there, but Downing, being a young player, has to learn against a big kid like Wallace. He can't come up on the same side as Wallace. He has to use that basket. He has to come underneath and put the ball up to use the basket as some protection on the ball.
Fairport just 1 of 5 so far offensively, but they've been able to stay in the game because of their defensive play so far. Essie looking to cut it to a 6-4 lead. That foul shot won't go, but it's tipped in. They'll tip it on the play. I believe it's going to go to Scott Davis or to Keith Downing. We'll check that for you, but in any event, it's 2 points. They give it to Scott Davis, and it is a 6-5 game.
All right, they're back into a man-to-man.
Aggressive play that time again by Quagliarello, but they're going to call him for the foul on the reach. You can just see it in their eyes, Coach, though. When they made a big play like that, it picks them up a little bit on defense, and that emotion comes out.
It sure does. It sure does.
This is John Wallace with the ball, and he kicks it back to Jake Lenhart, who goes back to his big man Wallace. The nice feed inside, but it goes off of the hands of Mike Davies. I'm not sure if he was ready for that pass.
No, I don't think he was. I think John should have grabbed the ball and pivoted before he made that shot. He tried to make that pass blind.
Just token pressure at the three-quarter court by Pratt, and Quagliarello's able to bring it up rather easily. Now it's Essie with the ball. He's about 10 to 12-foot range, not much more than that for Essie, so he'll try to get it inside. And that's where he is now, turning and going on Wallace, who slaps it right back, but it's picked up by Downing, who hits, and Fairport has a 7-6 lead.
See, that's that high percentage shot right there. It was swatted right back, and he put it back in.
Also a case of not being intimidated by Wallace. You know he's going to get his blocks.
There's that penetration again. Davis always does a nice job on the backside. He does a great job of rebounding. He's that unsung hero around the basket.
Mike Davies is going to go to the line here. He was fouled by Scott Davis. 2 fouls already on Scott, so he'll come out of the game.
McCormick is coming in for Davis. McCormick is an excellent perimeter shooter. I don't think he handles the ball as well as Davis does, but he can definitely shoot.
You'll see McCormick and probably Vinny Esposito come into the game, but they really are set shooters, though, aren't they, Coach? They're
Yes,
not the kind of guys that are going to work for their shot. They're going to more or less have to get them the ball in position.
Right. Somebody's going to have to make the action and dish it off to them.
With 2 free throws here by Davies, and Athena jumps back on top. It is 8-7, 2:50 to go here in quarter number 1, the Class A championship game. There it is, Athena 8, Fairport 7. Fairport keeping the score where they need it in a low scoring range here in the first quarter.
We're running some possession offense right here, a little delay game. Athena plays excellent defense. They have some real great athletes.
Essie still a little bit out of his range.
He can make that shot. He and Joe can make that shot right there.
Essie again with the offensive boards, but it is Wallace who finally pulls it down after a couple of misses from in tight. So it is Fairport missing 2 opportunities to grab the lead, and it is now Brian Pratt back on offense looking for his big man. This is Wallace. He won't kick it back. There's a case where it looked like, hey, kick the ball out, get the shot, but John Wallace can make that play.
Yes, he can.
That's why he is a McDonald's All-American. He's also a Parade Magazine All-American. He's verbally committed to Syracuse next year. And a lot of people think he is the best player to come out of Section 5 in a long, long time. Just a junior. Downing goes to the basket here, and he's going to get the foul beforehand. Won't be a shot on this play. Keith Downing is a 90-plus student in school, too, and an outstanding ball player. Good all-around athlete. Also plays quarterback on the football team. Got a little bit of time on that state championship team. Speaking of juniors, another one's coming into the game. Greg Wakefield, a big kid.
He's a very, very big kid. They get a nice entry pass right there.
That's twice that now Manhurst's getting inside to get the layup, and it's 10-9. Defensive lapse again on the time by Athena.
John just lets the ball in there and expecting to block it all the time, and he's got to play a little bit more aggressive in the lane.
Pratt goes to the basket. The foul called on the swipe beforehand, and it looks like it's going to go against T.J. McCormick's going to pick up the foul here. There's Coach Jeff Fitch. Played at Middlesex Valley in high school, which is now Marcus Whitman. Went to East Texas State, a draft pick of the Dallas Chaparrals in the ABA. He didn't want to tell us it was 1967. He said it was too many years back to tell him. But Pratt missing the foul shot here, and so far a good shooting team like Athena, surprisingly having trouble at the line. They've hit now just 2 of 5 so far.
They're usually an excellent foul shooting team. I think they could be the best foul shooting team in the county.
He does get the second. It is now 11-9. Athena with the lead in this one. So Fairport right now has got to be happy with the way the game is going.
So far. And they're setting the tempo here. There hasn't been too many fast breaks.
And to this point, John Wallace is playing well, but he's just another player out on the court. He hasn't been able to take over. Of course, we are just in quarter number 1. See what the big man can do inside on Wallace, and he gets the foul call. Doing a little talking to John Wallace, too, that time, is Greg Wakefield.
Well, Fairport has the 2 big bodies inside right now. They have Wakefield and they have Manhurst. You know, and if they can kick the ball into one of them and make John play him, that always gives you that that dump-off pass to the other guy underneath. You'll see Fairport a lot of times. They go to that high-low post. They'll drop the ball into the high post and dump it down. And what they're trying to do is get Wallace out of the lane and come out to that foul line to open up that bottom man.
Saw Jeff Murphy check into the ballgame for Athena. Jake Lenhart takes a seat for the moment. Murphy, might as well call him the starter. He is the 6th man that used to start earlier in the year, and now he's gotten an opportunity to come off the bench, and he's done very well. An excellent shooter. Nice entry pass this time to Wallace, who gets blasted and gets the foul, and he'll go to the line.
They're pushing it in. They're making Fairport defend them inside.
Now, most times you'll hear a coach say with a big man, don't put the ball on the floor once you get it inside there. Does Wallace have enough ability dribbling the ball and controlling the ball that it's not a bad play for him to put it on the floor?
No doubt. He can handle the ball. The trouble is right now there's just no room to move. John is, you know, he has to pivot a little bit more. He has to use his backside a little bit to get some more room so he can move.
2 free throws this time for John Wallace, and it is a 13-11 lead right now for Greece Athena. 38 seconds to go. Wouldn't be surprised if they pulled it out here to hold it for 1.
No, they probably will.
Though just as we say that, Downing looks to move to the basket, but now kicks it back out front to McCormick, and Quagliarello twice has been called for that.
He's leaning. He's making that step before he puts the ball to the floor.
Now it's going to be Athena's turn, and it looks like Coach Don Brown is calling for one shot here as Brian Pratt's going to pull it back. They have the lead right now, 13-11, 20 seconds to go in quarter number 1. A situation here where what do you do? What time do you think they'll start to head to the basket?
Well, they should go to about the 8-second mark, so the shot gets off at about the 5, 4, 3-second mark. So if there is a rebound, they have a big opportunity for Big John to put it in. Right here.
There's the shot and the miss. No rebound. They are going to go with a foul. Pratt picks up the foul right before the end of the quarter, I believe. That is the call.
That was a big break for Fairport right there. They lost the possession and the opportunity.
Pratt picks up his 3rd foul. That could be a big factor. We are through 1 quarter. Athena leading Fairport 13-11. We'll be right back.
Hey, Grandpa, ready to go fishing?
Yeah, just give me a couple of minutes. Let me finish cleaning up here.
Grandpa, have you ever closed out the store without cleaning it?
Nope, never.
Really?
You know, my grandpa told me a long time ago that if there's anything worth doing, it's worth doing well. It's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't pass up moments.
Grab that broom. We'll be fishing in no time.
To pass on your wisdom.
This message is brought to you by WOKR 13 and your local team Dodge dealers.
My name is Wendy Goodman. I'd like to introduce you to my hero, the Reverend Ken Fox, director of the Open Door Mission, a shelter for Rochester's homeless. Reverend Fox finds something worthwhile in everyone, and he encourages his people by saying that problems are only opportunities and work close.
Well, I'm honored and also embarrassed that Wendy would pick me as her hero. There are thousands of other heroes that are unsung heroes here at the mission.
Reverend Fox faces the challenge of keeping the homeless alive and well. He is not only my hero, but also the hero of the homeless.
We are set for the second quarter. A big break so far for Fairport. Brian Pratt out of the game. He did pick up his 3rd foul right before the end of the quarter.
That's a tough break for Athena. Pratt's an excellent ball player.
So Murphy now will probably take up a lot of that slack. He is still in the game along with Eric Schmidt and at the guard positions. Now the ball goes out of bounds off of Murphy.
Remains in possession. You know, what hurts too, Mike, is the fact that Athena only goes with 6 players. Now, if you have to sit Pratt down, they're going to have to go a whole quarter here, maybe with 5.
McCormick, we mentioned he's the post-up shooter, and he takes that shot there, but it is the long rebound is picked off by Jake Lenhart. A little bit more is going to fall on his shoulders along with this man with the ball, Jeff Murphy. And we mentioned earlier, Murphy was a starter at the beginning of the year, and now is the 6th man. Schmidt goes inside for Davies. He's going to kick it back out. He can hit the 3. Lenhart doesn't fall. Schmidt hustles for the board, and they're going to go with a foul. It looks like it's going to be on Schmidt going over the top.
40, Eric Schmidt, his first. That's the 16th foul on the Trojans. Fairport ball.
Murphy showing a little pressure here. They're trying to pick up Quagliarello full court, and they do, but now Downing picks up the ball, and he'll bring it up court.
I think they're trying to pick up the tempo here a little bit. Coach Brown doesn't like the tempo. There's that high-low look right there. We got Wakefield right in the lane. They can't allow that to happen. There's a mismatch there with Wakefield on Davies.
I talked to Coach Fitch before the game. He said the thing that impresses him most about Wakefield is for a big kid, he has very soft hands. He catches the ball inside, and you saw it there. Nice move. He turned around and scored. Now this time, caught for pushing a little bit on John Wallace, and as Wallace is known to do a little talking here, and it's the part of his game that maybe everyone isn't as satisfied with. John does a little bit of talking out on the court.
Yes, and if he does too much of it, I think the officials will step in and quiet it down.
Now this time he is called for the extra step, so John Wallace with a turnover, and Fairport has the ball back.
John threw in the old drop step, the old shuffle move before he put it to the floor.
Well, Fairport has done it to this point. 6:40 to go. A foul here by Eric Schmidt. 6:40 to go here in the first, and they're all even, 13 apiece. Coach, we talked about this score being in the 50s or 60s. At this pace right now, the game would even be lucky to get into the 50s. Jeff Fitch has to be thrilled with how it's gone so far.
Yes, right now he's got to be very, very happy. And they're calling this game very, very close. The officials are not letting this game get out of hand.
Schmidt picked up his 2nd foul there, and so now Downing goes to the line for the 1-and-1, and he connects. Keith Downing, a 6'3" junior guard. He can play a little bit of forward. Does it really all for him. He and Davis considered the most athletic players on that Fairport team, and it is a 2-point lead right now. And Brian Pratt on the bench, so things have not gone the way of Athena so far in this ballgame, but we still have plenty of basketball left. There's Eric Schmidt. He can hit that three, but instead goes inside to Wallace, and ball's knocked out of bounds, and Athena is going to keep it. Without Pratt in the game, Coach, does it seem like Athena's maybe a little out of sync offensively?
Oh, they definitely are. Pratt does so much for him. He gets that ball into Wallace better than anybody else in that team. There was a great shot by Wallace.
Soft touch of John Wallace, the turnaround, and as we mentioned before, defensively and offensively, he can make up for a lot of mistakes. John Wallace getting the bucket there to tie it. Downing with a nice move inside, off the iron. It will fall. The rebound goes back up in the air, and it's picked off by Schmidt. A little bit of contact, but no call, and here comes the run. It is Murphy feeding it over to Wallace. Goes inside. Nice pass to Davies for the layup.
Well, that was our first break of the day. They made a fast break out of that. John Wallace, with his great passing ability, dumped it under to Davis.
All right, Lenhart playing tough against Quadrello, who goes right to the hoop, misses it. There's Manhertz, who goes up against Wallace and misses. Downing with the boards, and they're going to call Downing over the top. Talking going on again. There you see Coach Don Brown. Little talking going on between Wallace and Downing. Downing now has 2 fouls.
That was a tough call right there.
Keith Downing may have the athletic ability to go right over the top of someone like Jake Lenhart and pick up the rebound. They actually called him for going over the top of Schmidt, so it is Schmidt who's going to the line. He's a 2-year starter, and Coach Brown called him a key guy tonight. He's a 3-point shooter. He's an aggressive player. He missed the foul shot again, so the free throw worries continue for Athena. They're now 5 of 9. Much lower than their regular percentage.
Very unusual. Athena, as I said, very, very good foul shooting team. They're struggling. I think I'd rather struggle now than later in the ball game, though.
Downing turnaround. Downing ties it up at 17.
17 all time.
5 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the first. This is Jeff Murphy with the ball inside to John Wallace. The turnaround, lots of contact. It goes off of the glass, and it is a 2-point lead now for Athena.
So far, it's been John Wallace in the lane. Athena has not. I don't think they've made a perimeter shot, have they?
Wallace 4 for 6 from the floor right now. The rest of the team shooting at less than 25%, but they haven't taken that many opportunities. The ball is going inside to Wallace the majority of the time. And when you've got an All-American, you ride him, right?
They're looking in.
Lenhart kind of forced that a little bit.
Another long one for Lenhart.
He misses the 3 there, and it's Quadrello coming back. Looked to break a little bit, then thought wisely of it and decided to pull it back. Pressured here by Murphy. Here's Manhertz. A little bit of a mismatch again against Davies. Nice move. It's gone over to Essie. We'll give him an assist on that, Coach. I don't know if that was a pass, but we'll give the assist to Essie for the bucket.
Well, as I said before, you have to put the ball in and make John Wallace play it. And Joe went up with a shot, and I think he saw Essie's on the backside and tried to dump it over to him pretty quick.
The steal that time by Downing, and nearly goes out of bounds, and it's picked back up by Lenhart. He goes to Murphy. He had the 3. Picked it back up. He was on the line and let it go. And they're going to get an over the top right here, and it's going to go against T.J. McCormick. No, check that, Steve. Yes, it is. It is T.J. McCormick who picks up the foul. Substitutions coming into the game. Wakefield coming into the game, along with Vinny Esposito. Our first look at Esposito. We mentioned now he's just a sophomore. We'll get a look at him later. He's number 12, just a sophomore, but Coach Fitch says he is very impressed by the maturity of this young guy.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of experience this year. He's played in a lot of big ball games. He gives Pat Quadrello a lot of rest. He rotates the 2 of them there, handling the point.
Schmidt's second foul shot will not go, and it is a 1-point lead. And the ball's in the hands of Esposito. We mentioned just a sophomore against the junior Murphy here. Tipped away. Tough place to make that entry pass all the way out there. Maybe you got to go a little backdoor.
Well, if they're being overplayed, you definitely have to go back door. That was a tough angle to make the pass. You know, we talked earlier, Mike, about the emotional edge, and I think the emotional edge right now is in Fairport's behalf. You know, they're making that high percentage shot, and Athena is really struggling on the perimeter, and they're not gaining any confidence there.
Wakefield tried to post up, couldn't get there. Esposito for three, goes high off the glass. He gets his own rebound right at Wallace, dumps it back to Downing, who goes over Wallace, and it won't fall. Manhurt's hustling for the boards, but it is Schmidt who picks it up. They're on the break to Murphy. A little bit out of control, and the ball's picked up by Manhurts, and wait a minute, we've got a foul, and it's going to go against Jeff Murphy. The chances you have to take, though, if you want to pick up the pace a little bit?
Yeah, you have to go for those loose balls. It was just an unfortunate situation.
Don Brown there looks worried, and obviously should be worried at this point. His point guard's on the bench with 3 fouls. What are the other kind of things that he can do to pick up the pace in this game a little bit?
Well, I think, you know, you can up-tempo a little bit on the defensive side. They just have to start taking a little bit better shots themselves down there. When they kick it into John, fine, but when he kicks it back out or anybody else kicks it back out, they may have to move it in a little bit.
6 of 7 so far from the line for Fairport, and that's what's kept him in this ball game. It is tied at 20, and right now, Joe Manhurts can give his team the lead. He misses the second one, and the rebound is picked off by Davies. 3 minutes to go in the first half. It is tied at 20, the Section 5 Class A championship game. Mike Catalana along with Rush Henrietta coach Jim Cox, and at halftime, we'll be joined by Rich Becker. As John Wallace turns into the post and kicks it back outside. Lenhart thinks better of it, goes to Schmidt for the open three. No good. The rebound, Wallace, and the ball goes out of bounds. And it's going to stay with Athena, but
well, I think the officials missed both of those fouls underneath. John pushed Wakefield, and Wakefield's body bumped John.
Wallace goes back up and hits the short jumper.
See, that's what happens when you give him some room. He can put the ball on the floor. That's the trouble with John, experiencing all the double teams and the triple teams here this year. He doesn't have the chance to really show what he can do.
Fairport 0 for 2 from three-point range. That's a two-pointer that doesn't go. That's not that big of a surprise. Fairport not a great shooting team, but Athena 0 for 4 from the three-pointer, as we talked about before, that's what opens up their game.
Right. You know, they played that emotional game on Wednesday, and you know, that was one of our questions, whether they could be up. You know, and it's funny, when you're up emotionally, some really good things happen for your team.
Like the rolls. Eric Schmidt got one to go there, and it's now a 4-point lead. 24-20, Athena leads it. Brian Pratt, the point guard of Athena, who spent the entire second quarter on the bench with 3 fouls. And Athena's been able to maintain the lead. They lead it by 4 right now. This is Esposito inside. Wallace comes out to slap it away. Here they go on the break. Quadrillo tries to come up on defense, but it is Lenhart who gets it to roll.
Coach Mitch is up yelling. He touched the board when that ball was on the basket.
This is the kind of pace Athena wants. They want the ball to be moving.
Right. You know, Fairport keeping the game close here a few times down the floor have kind of rushed the shot. They were working the ball. Now they're going a little too early. We got a foul there on Davies.
Yeah, Davies went for the steal that time, and Manhurst thought he had to move inside. Almost thought he was headed right towards John Wallace into the basket. But the call was made beforehand, so it'll be a 1-on-1 situation for Manhurst. Substitution, Quadrillo comes back into the game, and Esposito takes the seat on the bench. John Wallace so far, 12 points in the game, 3 rebounds and 3 blocks. And of course, he's altered some other shots underneath. Make that 4 rebounds for Wallace as he pulls that one down. Now it's a 6-point lead for Athena, and they're in possession of the ball.
Well, they'll go for the last shot right here. They haven't played real well this first half, but they're still ahead by 6 points. They have to feel really, really fortunate.
Schmidt.
Fairport's going to sit back. They're not going to come out and get them.
Schmidt and Murphy and Lenhart standing outside. They're just going to hold the ball, and they can do this for the rest of the quarter if they want. Fairport, of course, they're They're happy where they're going in just 6 points down. They'd love to get a stop here and maybe even pick up the rebound. 23 seconds to go in the first quarter. As we mentioned, Brian Pratt sat the whole second quarter. Jeff Murphy has come in and done a good job at the point. And right now he's controlling it. You see the clock there, 12 seconds to go, and now they're ready to go to the basket.
They're going right into John. Bad entry pass.
All right, Downing with the ball. 3 seconds. 2, 1. They called the block. It's going to go on Murphy with 1 second to go, and Downing's going to the line. Boy, there's a big difference, Coach. Either they make the basket or not at the buzzer, and it's a 6-point lead, maybe 8. Now here they come back down. It could be a 4-point lead.
Game, and that's 2 baskets, and that's nothing at all at halftime.
Can you make a bad entry pass to John Wallace? Can you throw it too high? Is that what happened there?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you can throw it too high. You can throw it too low. He's a big kid, but he wasn't that big.
Downing hits the free throw. It is 26-21, just 1 second to go here in the first.
See, that's where they really miss Pratt. Pratt does an excellent job of entering that ball into Wallace. He does it better than anybody else in that team.
26-22, 1 second to go. Schmidt to inbound. He'll throw it the length of the court. Quadrillo picks it off, and we are at halftime. It is 26-22. Greece Athena leading Fairport by 4 points. And we are going to go over to Rich Becker in just a couple moments. Coach, right now when you look at the game, and we talked about the pace and we talked about the score, 4 points, 26-22, it's been in favor of Fairport, even though they're down by 4 points.
Well, that was one of the keys to the ball game. We talked in the beginning. You know, Fairport had to set the pace, and they have right now, and they've been fortunate. They've been making the shots.
The man who came up with that game plan is standing by now with Rich Becker. Rich?
Okay, Mike, thanks a lot. I am with Jeff Fitch. Jeff, even though you're trailing right now, this has got to be exactly the way you planned it.
Yeah, Rich, we feel real good right now. We're controlling the tempo for the most part. We've given them a couple easy ones, but we're very satisfied right now. If we can continue to do this into the third, middle of the fourth, now we got a chance. But that's a long way to go. John's a great ball player, and we're just going to have to keep going. I think we've done a nice job on the guards outside. They're getting into John, and then John isn't getting it back out to him. So as long as that continues and we can keep bodying them up and so on, they've made some lucky damn shots. So we could have the lead just as well as not.
How much did having Pratt on the bench help you guys?
Oh, great. Pratt is really the unsung hero. Other than John, obviously, he's MVP for their team. He runs the team and everything, and it shows out here, I think. They're not as, they can't get their offense going as well. Everything moves out, and as long as Pratt is off, we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, Jeff, good luck in the second half. Mike, Jim, back to you.
Is it what you thought so far? I mean, did you think they could do this? You've played both of these teams twice.
Well, you know, Fairport is a big team, and if anybody matches up with Athena, it's Fairport. And what they've done is they've made John play one of the big guys, and that leaves somebody else, even on the missed shots, that leaves somebody else free. And that's what's happened. They put in some nice, easy baskets there.
So far, it has worked for Fairport. They're down just 4 at the half. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the Section 5 cheerleading champs, and we're also going to look at the other sectional championship games. We'll be back right after this.
This is a regular incandescent light bulb. RG&E wants you to know that by changing to compact fluorescent, you'll use up to 75% less energy. We'll even give you a rebate of $10 off the purchase of every bulb. If everyone made this one simple switch, that would give us savings we all could clearly see.
You can ski at Live Volcano. Take a dip in the Colorado. Take your bike way up in the blue. But you've never done nothing like a diet, dude. Full tilt taste. You won't believe it's a diet. You can leave, you can lie, but you've never done nothing like a diet, dude.
Look for specially marked 2-liter bottles of Mountain Dew for lift ticket discounts good at participating ski areas of New York.
5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America are Fords, and the #1 selling small car is Ford Escort. Now choose from 4 Escort models at one low price. The LX 3-door, 4-door sedan, 5-door hatchback, and Escort wagon, all just $99.99. Loaded with air, AM/FM stereo, power steering, and more. 4 great values, one price. Ford Escort, part of America's winning lineup. See your local Ford dealer today.
In these competitive times, you're having to do more around the office than ever before, with less help than ever before. That's why you should be doing more with Rochester Tel. We have just what you need to stay in step, from simple solutions to complex voice and data systems. So call us today for your free productivity analysis. We'll show you how to get in tune with the times.
My name is Kim Aldrin, and I'm a 7th grader at Frederick Douglass Middle School. I would like to introduce you to my hero, my school counselor, Mr. Joe Barone. Mr. Barone is always there for you when you have a problem or just need someone to talk to. In the end, he always cheers you up and hopefully solves your problem.
I feel very, very fortunate that I have the opportunity to work with these kids. They're a great bunch of kids.
Mr. Barone cares about people, and we care about him. Mr. Barone is a great person, and someone like him is hard to find, but I'm lucky because he's my counselor.
Why Christo Ford?
Because the owner's always right here, making sure your deal's the right one.
Why Christo Ford? Because I'm always here, making sure that what we say is what we mean.
Because of our repeat customer history, that tells me my family's doing something right.
Because I've been financing cars and trucks for over 25 years, and I know how to get you more vehicle for less money.
Why Christo Ford? Because Christo cares.
Welcome back to the Section 5 Class A championship game. Athena leading Fairport by 4 points at half. Of course, this game, the culmination of championship week here at the War Memorial. Let's go over to Rich Becker, who has the story on the other title games. Rich?
Okay, Mike, thanks a lot. You know, kids from almost when they're born dream of making it to the War Memorial, the Section 5 championships. 16 teams made it here to the finals. Only 8 went home, starting Friday night with that championship hardware.
3 champions crowned Friday night. We start in Class Double B. Marshall versus top seed Arcadia. Check out Titans coach Doug Childs and the new hairdo. But it was Marshall getting off to the good start. Hector Castro with the 3, Juris by 3. Ricky Norris kept them on top. This 12-foot jumper falls. Marshall keeps its 3-point lead, but Childs didn't get his head shaved for nothing. Jason Mott takes the pass inside and scores. 40-38 Titans with the lead, which they'd never relinquish. Marshall had the final shot, but Victor Cortez ended the hopes with a steal and a score. Arcadia hangs on to win for the Class Double B title with Jason Mott the hero.
It's a whole team. We're a team, and I think the coaches, the coaching staff, the team, the support from everybody, it was wonderful. I owe it all to the team.
Arcadia heads to the next round, a 42-38 winner. Class B was just as close between Palmac and Waterloo. Nice drive here by Jeff Von Wiegen. Palmac with a 4-point lead. Waterloo's Jeff Ike had the answer for that one, though. A nice fake and baseline drive, but it was Palmac with a 32-28 lead at the half. Second half, turning MVP Dan Drews went to work. Nice move here as he scores 52-44 Raiders. But it wasn't over yet as Waterloo's Jeremy Smith hits the 3 with just 12 seconds left. 64-61 Palmac, but that was it. Drews ends up with 28. Palmac gets the Class B title.
Well, it's real nice to win. I mean, we've never won, and this was our